We can't always plan out to a T the risk that we're going to take, because then after a while, is it really even a risk anymore?
Exactly.
If we're planning out the risk? No, that's powerful. I like that.
It's the fear of failure, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this because of this chance.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chat with Charli. We are so excited to have Kashif here today with us. Kashif, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely, I wouldn't miss it.
Absolutely. Well, why not? Because that's kind of smooth.
It's because we're talking with Charli.
Okay, that's awesome. I like it. Hello, it's Charli, your go-to for mastering the art of public speaking and career advancement. Welcome to Chat with Charli, where industry professionals share their invaluable insights and advice to help you excel within your desired industry. Get ready to dive deep into the minds of accomplished individuals as they unravel strategies, share personal experiences, and provide actionable tips that you won't get anywhere else. So we're gonna start off with a game, and it's a public speaking game.
Okay.
Because my passion is the art of public speaking. So do you mind playing a little game with me?
Just be ready to lose.
No, do you want me to push the button, or do you want to push the button to choose the game?
I'll go ahead and push the button.
It's the middle button, and then you tell us what game
All
you're
right.
playing today. No pressure. You have to know every word in the encyclopedia. Go.
Storytelling.
Storytelling. Let's play with Charli Renee. Storytelling. That's a good one. Okay. So the way storytelling works is that we are going to tell the people a story, and it's all improv. So we have to do it just straight off the dome.
Off the dome, let's do it.
I will be participating with you, and I will continue the story. And then when it's your turn, you got to continue the story until our timer goes off. It's a real story.
All right, let's
You
do
want
it.
to play?
We're back in 10th grade.
All right. Do you want to go first or me?
You start it off. Let's go.
There once was this really cool podcast with this really cool girl who was leading the podcast that had this really awesome guest on the show. And then
When the podcast started, everybody was even more surprised than they thought they would be, because it turned out that it wasn't just, another podcast. It was the new podcast.
hey, I like that. And not only was it the new podcast, we went ahead and launched on the YouTube channel, and out of nowhere, everybody started subscribing left and right. What? We want to see Kashif. We want to see Kashif.
When Kashif got on the podcast, Charli smiled brighter than she's ever smiled before. And if you know Charli, that's got to be a pretty bright smile.
I like it. And so then it ended with a beautiful story. We were very excited to be able to bless you all with the knowledge that you all needed to be successful within your industry. And that's storytelling with Charli Renee. You killed it.
I don't think anybody can do it better.
I'm telling you, that was it. I like it. So talk to us about what is your industry, what do you do, and what drew you to that field?
Sure. So I practice law, specifically personal injury law. So I guess the best way to put it is I advise individuals that are hurt due to someone else's negligence what to do in order to put themselves in the best situation for them. Comes with a lot, right? That's a pretty broad kind of spectrum of what I do, but there's a lot of details to it. Pretty much when you're involved in a situation like this, there are people that may seem like they're there to help you, but have ulterior motives. So not only my advice, but my ability to, fight and advocate for people from a legal perspective allows me to prevent that from happening to these people. That's in a gist of what I do on a daily basis when I practice.
I think you said it, but is what drew you to this industry the fact that you were able to help people? Is that what you're saying? Or speak to me about what drew you to do personal injury?
So personal injury for me was more specific after I chose law itself. I think that's where it all started for me, is knowing that I was going to practice law. And that comes from a multitude of different factors. I mean, speech and debate was one of those factors. A major factor in this is what I want to do every day, and that is communicate and talk to people and not just, be quiet at a desk all day, every day. So that kind of got me to understand that my skill is communication and my skill is something that I need to use to propel myself forward in my career. Once I went into undergrad, I not only, went through the motions of being an undergraduate student, going from one major to the other, kind of in the unknown of what I wanted to do, but I've always been a working man. So, since I was, I don't know if you remember this, but I sold candy in high school. You gotta do what you gotta do, right? But my point was that I worked. I gave up the candy hustle and moved on to HEB. But it was always working, and I was always trying to find one opportunity. I got blessed in undergrad to meet an attorney named Edward Turnbull, who really kind of opened my eyes to the industry and to the profession, and that kind of nudged me forward as well. Also school, I'll say education was impactful in me deciding to get into law. It made me understand that not only do you want to do something you enjoy, but you want to do something that you can be, that can be not just emotionally lucrative, but also financially lucrative. So I wanted to try to find the best situation for me, and that ended up being law itself.
You were destined for success, and you have arrived. So stop with the imposter syndrome. You belong where you're at, if not higher.
The specificity of personal injury law came from, just experiencing law school and going through the motions and working for judges and other lawyers and kind of, picking and choosing to see where I could really help people and at the same time, continue to grow myself and be successful.
No, that's wonderful. Now, I don't want to deflect, but if we could just take a half a second to speak on what product is in your hair right now, because it hasn't moved. It's pretty luxurious. Just side note. If you want to endorse, I'm okay with taking that endorsement.
I appreciate that.
Okay, you don't want to share it. It's a secret.
Maybe
later.
part two. We'll talk about the hair. Wow. But right now, let's stay
focused.
Yeah.
Okay. Personal injury.
Yeah.
Lawyer. You care about people.
Come on, Charlie.
Okay, I'm focused. So, which has been more valuable in your career? Would you say your experience or your education?
I will have to say my experience. A lot of people may question that because it's you are an attorney, you went to law school, you have to go to law school to become an attorney. And I think education is important. I just think that education can be more, effective. I think that there is a lot of wasted time that goes into an undergraduate degree. I'll be very honest with you. I think, I think it can be done to where you can spend only 4 years in school, in education, and have enough knowledge to become an attorney. I don't think it requires 4 years of undergrad and then 3 years of law school. My experience, again, I've been blessed with it, and I'm proud to say that I've just taken opportunities when they've come across. I've taken advantage of those opportunities. And it's, I've had help from a ton of people, family, friends, teachers, mentors. And that experience throughout life, not just from starting in high school, but also seeing my parents and the way that they had to grind and hustle, it taught me that you have to have that mentality. And that hustler mentality taught me that, if you're going to truly succeed, you got to take advantage of the opportunities that come across.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. So when we're thinking about you as an attorney, what skills do you think are valuable to have to be in that industry? To be a lawyer, what skills does somebody need to? There
are certain things that, go across the board with any kind of industry, hard work, perseverance, confidence, things of those nature. But a few things that I would, pinpoint that helped me were organization, for sure. Creating a structure, not only in your brain, but also, if whatever works for you. If that means creating a structure, physically, writing things out, brainstorming, whatever that may be, filtering and structuring your thoughts is an important skill in law school. And just to be an attorney itself. I think mental toughness is very important. We all suffer from, negative thoughts, anxiety, some more than others. And, I think mental toughness is a big part of being successful as an attorney, because not only are you advocating, you're not just advocating for yourself, you're advocating for others. And, it can be tougher to do because there's less at stake. When you're advocating for yourself, there's obviously more at stake, right? Like it's you, your family, but when it's a random person off the street, it's a little bit more difficult. So I think to keep that sharp edge, that's important. And then lastly, I'd say competition. I'm a very competitive person. Like it, and you know this from day one. Like, you gotta go get it. Right. Like nobody's just gonna serve it up for you, And I take pride in being competitive. I think it's fun, and you get to talk mess along the way too. So
that makes it all better.
Oh yeah.
Coming from the attorney,
yeah.
I like it. So, what organizational challenges did you face in your industry? And then what adversity did you encounter as you advanced within your career? Because I know that you mentioned that you're an attorney, but not only are you an attorney, you also are a part of a law firm, is my understanding. And so kind of talk to me about that process. What challenges did you encounter, or any adversity?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, and this is, again, like a blessing for me, but I think every step of the way, whenever I did like come across a minor adversity, I was able to quickly, turn it around to my benefit, or look at the positive aspects of it and learn from that. And I was able to get through like minor adversities throughout law school. I didn't really face a major hindrance. After my first year, I was able to transfer from South Texas College of Law to the University of Houston Law Center, which is, definitely a goal of mine. And, I was very happy. I graduated, I passed all my classes. And then, it's time to study and prepare and take the bar exam and get your license and go on and get into the real world, become an attorney. Took the bar exam in July of 2018. Yeah, and you get results in October. And it's kind of crazy the way you get results for your bar exam. They post a list of every individual in the state of Texas that passed the bar exam on a public page.
Mentally tough.
That mental toughness right there, right? And I still remember the day. It was like October. It was like the end of October. It was actually around my birthday, and I'm sitting. Yeah. Next time we'll talk about your birthday present. But so I get to work, and I'm sitting in the garage, and all of a sudden my group chats with all my law school friends. Hey, results are out. Results are out. So I'm sitting in the car and I'm scrolling. I don't see my name on the list, and I was like, "There's no way I didn't pass the bar exam, right?" And I double checked the list. I triple checked the list. I asked a friend to check the list for me. My name's not on there. Then you go in and you get the notification. You find out like, yeah, I really did fail the bar exam. And, immediately in that moment, it's human nature for all of these negative thoughts. You graduated high school, you graduated undergrad, you got into law school, you got through law school. But the most important thing you need to be able to practice law in the state of Texas, you don't have. You don't have a license. And, for those first, having to walk into my office and tell my supervising attorney that I didn't pass the bar exam was not an easy thing to do. And, I think that was the one moment in my life where I had failed so hard that I was like, is this going to be it? Like, what if I never passed the bar exam, right? Got myself together, went home, took a nap, I was like, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep, woke up, told myself I'm not going to think about it for a week or two and just kind of focus on working. And then I got back to it. I studied, tried to see where I made my mistakes. In February, took the bar exam, and then in May got my name on that list,
Yes.
So yeah, and that was one of the toughest, I want to say 6 to 9 months of my life. And made it out. So that's probably from an organizational standpoint, having to communicate that with the firm and to, tell my friends, my family, my structure, my organization, that I didn't make it, but then to overcome that adversity and then, be able to be a practicing attorney.
Which makes your story even better.
I don't think I would do it any other way. I think if I could go back, I don't think I would make myself pass the first time, because I really think failing the bar exam that first time made me the attorney that I am today. So
that's wonderful. So I know you said you wouldn't want to do that piece over again, but if you could do it all over again, the process to becoming an attorney, is there anything that you would do differently or not? Is there anything you would do?
I think there is something that I would do differently. You know, it took me a while to understand and realize that there's a system around us, and that you can't, even if you don't agree with the system, you still have to find a way to succeed within the system. And I think there were some opportunities in high school and in undergrad that I didn't take because I was like, this doesn't matter, you know, because it's like I can do this and be quote unquote successful. Whereas there were avenues that I could have approached and I could have gone through that, you know, could have maybe taken me, I don't know, to another level or provided other opportunities for me. So I think that what I would have done is I would have, you know, learned and tried to succeed within the system a little bit more, and maybe taken certain risks that I didn't take. I did take risks, but I took calculated risks. And I think that's, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything, right? So again, those few things, you know, just from like a mindset kind of thing is what I would change. I learned that mindset in law school. You know, my first 6 months of law school, I completely shifted my way of thinking. And that's what helped me, I think. I just think I could have done that a little bit earlier. So that's what I would have changed.
Yeah, a mindset shift.
Yeah.
I like that you said take risks, but they can't always be calculated risks. We can't always plan out to a T the risk that we're going to take, because then after a while, is it really even a risk anymore?
Exactly.
If we're planning out the risk? No, that's powerful. I like that.
It's the fear of failure, right? Like, I'm not going to do this because of this chance, you know?
This chance that something could go wrong. No, that's really good. So to end this, because this has been great, it's been powerful for me, so I hope that you all are definitely getting something from this, but what advice would you give other people that are interested in also being an attorney? What advice would you give them to help them either within that field or who want to be an attorney?
I think it comes down to what you want to do in life, right? Like, what are your overarching life goals? Whether that include your, you know, that doesn't necessarily just have to include your career. That can include your family. That can include your friends. You know, that can include other passions that you may have, right? I think you need to create reasons for why you're pursuing what you're pursuing, right? So have that kind of clear in your head. Specifically for law, I would suggest talking to individuals that are in situations that you're going to find yourself in, right? People that are just starting law school, people that are studying for the bar exam, people that are first-year attorneys, people that have been an attorney for 5 years, for 10, for 20, right? Because that kind of a framework will allow you to look at where you're going to be in those situations and whether you align yourself with what you see and what you hear from those individuals, right? So do you want to be this person at year 5, or do you want to be some version of that person? You know, do you want to tweak that a little bit? It just provides you with more insight, right? So you don't get through law school and you pass the bar exam and you are working for, you know, top 50 law firm in the nation and you're unhappy, because that happens, you know, and, you know, we can't always control that, but as much as you can, you know, understand what you're getting yourself into, it's just going to be more beneficial for you at the end of the day. So that would kind of be my advice.
Yes, no, I like that advice, and that's applicable really across industries. So I really enjoyed hearing that piece of advice. So thank you so much for being here today. It was a pleasure just hearing you. You gave us a lot of tokens of information that we can use. So thank you, Kashif, who I call Cash, for being here today. It was a blessing. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And that wraps up another episode of Chat with Charli. Thank you all so much for joining me today. as we explore various topics aimed to help you take your career to new heights. I hope you found today's discussion valuable and insightful. Remember, growth comes from continuous learning and taking actionable steps towards your goals. I'd love to hear from you all about today's content, so connect with me on social media at Lennon Prep and leave a comment or question to keep this chat going. Be sure to tune in to next week's episode, where we'll dive deep into the minds of another industry professional. It's going to be another informative and engaging conversation that you won't want to miss. And if you like Chat with Charli, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your support means the world to me and helps us reach more people ready to level up their expertise. Thank you again for being a part of our career advancement journey. And remember, strive for excellence, not perfection. Keep pushing forward and never stop investing in yourself. Until next time, bye.